Hey, Toolpathers, Paul here, and I want to share some of the work that our team has been doing on the new Design for Manufacturing API. One of the biggest pieces of feedback we've gotten on Toolpath is there's a lot of really valuable information, but it needs to play nicely with my workflows on the shop floor, the other software tools I use in the shop, really how you work day to day. And we really believe that the API connections will allow you to get that information to where it needs to be in your workflow at the right time. Our APIs will start with the Design for Manufacture API, which will leverage Toolpath's feature recognition and the measurements that it takes on those features. And stay tuned for more on the Estimate and Quoting API and CAM APIs in the future. With each of these APIs, we'll be releasing a reference implementation. And the reference implementation will help you understand the information that you can get from the API and how to work with it. So let's have a look at the Design for Manufacturing reference implementation. First thing, I've already got my API key connected. Let's upload a part. And when we analyze the part, Toolpath is going to look at all the possible machining directions and candidate features that it uses to develop the machining plans. So in the inspector page, we'll get a summary of the information Toolpath found about this part. So we'll see our machining directions, the features accessible from each direction. We can see that in the list here. So of our 14 through holes, 7 of them are candidate features from positive Z here. We can click on a feature in the list to get to the details. And within the details, we'll see measurements. So these are calculated values from the API record fields, common things, measurements that you take on the geometry. We also see all our datasheet fields, and we can copy any values here. And we see our raw API record, which is, of course, going to be useful to see as you experiment and build your own implementations of the API. We can also get to features by clicking directly on the part. So if I click on this face, on the right-hand side, I'll see every candidate feature that this face is a part of. So from our negative Y direction, this is a face. But from our negative or positive Z directions, this is a wall, and it could also be part of a full profile from those directions. When we have any of these pulled up, we get the specific measurements, datasheet fields, and raw API record for the specific feature that we have selected. The next feature in the DFM reference implementation is our rules. And this is an example of how we can build upon the measurements that we get through feature recognition in the API. So here I've set up, some basic milling difficulty rules based on geometry. So we have milling L to D ratio required, standard floor radii, and I've built rules for all of these based on what I'm comfortable doing, what's easy for me in the shop, and what's difficult for me in the shop. You can create your own rules. Again, this is a reference implementation, so this will be open source. You can go in and do whatever you want with this. The sky's the limit. We can also color the part by our rules. And, what I like about this is Toolpath's DFM right now is great for helping me understand, do I have a tool that can machine this feature or not? Where it falls a little short for me is understanding the relative difficulty of the feature. So if I click on the feature, in the difficulty section, I will see how this feature relates to the geometry-based rules that I've set up. And in this case, we can see that worst score on this feature is a rat. That's what I say when I don't like a feature. And that's because my standard, that's because the 100 thou radius here doesn't match my standard floor radii that I've set up in the rules. So we're really looking forward to seeing how you use the API. We hope it gives you a more flexible experience with the information that Toolpath provides. You'll see more from us later this week on getting access to the keys, getting signed up. If you have any questions or want to get on the early release list, shoot us an email at support@toolpath.com. Thanks.